They stood in a snowy field with their hands above their heads. No weapons, no cover, no escape. And then the SS opened fire. December 17th, 1944. The town of Malmedy, Belgium. It was the second day of Hitler's last major offensive, the Battle of the Bulge. Thousands of German troops had surged through the Ardennes in a surprise attack, cutting through Allied lines under cover of snow and fog. Roads were jammed, radios were silent, and chaos spread like fire across the front. That morning, a U.S. convoy of about 130 men from the 285th Field Artillery Observation Battalion was moving toward the front. They weren't combat troops, mostly forward observers, clerks, and drivers. Lightly armed, lightly trained, and they never made it. Just outside the village of Bulge, the convoy was ambushed by a column of SS troops from Kampfgruppe Peiper, an elite armored unit led by 29-year-old Joachim Peiper, one of Hitler's youngest and most ruthless commanders. Tanks flanked the American vehicles. Machine guns erupted. Within minutes, the convoy was torn apart. Dozens were killed in the opening attack. The survivors were forced into a nearby field, cold, unarmed, and surrounded. Over 80 men stood there in the snow, packed together, unsure what would happen next. And then a single gunshot rang out. No one knows who fired first, but what followed was slaughter. The SS opened fire with machine guns. Men fell screaming. Others tried to run, only to be cut down in the open. A few played dead, lying face down as bullets ripped past them. Some were executed at close range. A few, miraculously, survived, crawling through the snow, hiding in nearby hedgerows for hours, their breath fogging beneath frozen lips. Word of the massacre spread fast. By nightfall, bodies littered the field. Bullet wounds to the head, the chest, the back. Some men had been shot with their hands still raised. Others had boot prints on their backs from being stepped on after death. Snow covered the blood, but not the truth. When the Allies retook the area weeks later, war crimes investigators descended on the site. What they found shocked even hardened soldiers. 84 American prisoners of war had been executed. Not in the heat of battle, not by mistake, but in cold blood. General Eisenhower ordered the news released to the public. Leaflets were dropped from planes. The phrase, "Remember Malmedy," became a battle cry across the Western Front. American troops fought harder, angrier, refusing to take SS prisoners. And at the center of it all was Joachim Peiper. Young, charismatic, brutal. Peiper had already been implicated in atrocities in Italy and Russia. Now, the evidence at Malmedy pointed to his command. He denied giving the order, claimed it was a rogue soldier, but the trail led straight back to him. After the war, Peiper was captured and tried at the Dachau War Crimes Tribunal. Along with 72 others, he was sentenced to death. But controversy followed. Claims of coerced confessions and unfair interrogations clouded the verdict. In 1954, his sentence was commuted to life. By 1956, he was released. He lived free in France for nearly 2 decades, until 1976, when his home was firebombed by unknown assailants. Peiper's body was found in the ashes, shot multiple times. Justice? Revenge? No one knows. The massacre at Malmedy remains one of the most infamous war crimes committed against American troops in World War II. It wasn't just the brutality. It was the betrayal of what war is supposed to be, even in its darkest form. These men weren't shot in battle. They were executed in surrender. Today, a monument stands at the site, 84 names etched into stone, a reminder that in war, even mercy can be murdered. Thank you for listening to Last Post History. Subscribe for more true stories from the world at war.